Welcome back, everyone, and we are here with a very exciting match. We have the Cup semifinals. I am joined by my good friend and SBL veteran Joel.
How
How
you
you
doing,
doing, Joel?
Yuliko? How you doing? Good to be
Okay,
back. Good to be back.
yeah, we have a good match here. We have Pixixy versus Fury. This is going to determine who makes it to the Cup finals to play Praspian. First up here, we have Pixixy's team. So we have the stars of the show. We have Mew and Roaring Moon. Mew running two attacks here, Psychic and Earth Power. Um, let's see, Psychic and Earth Power, and also having the support options with Tailwind and Coaching with that Covert Cloak. On the Roaring Moon, we're seeing the standard knockoff and acrobatics, as well as Iron Head to maybe cover a potential Terra Fairy or something like that. On the Gyarados, we see kind of that standard Waterfall Thunder Wave, that brutal combo that can lead to flinches and paralysis. And this Magnezone, which has been doing a lot of work recently, the Choice Specs Magnezone, which just does a lot more damage than you might anticipate, and it can always take a hit because of Sturdy. We're seeing the Choice Scarf. Yeah, and the choice Scarf Gardevoir here, which has those coverage options to hit Fury's team. We'll see how those come into play. I see like the Aura Sphere, for example, to hit that Heatran, and lastly the Dugong with some support options and Ice Beam. So this any thoughts about this team, Joel?
Seems like a lot of members of this team. We got a couple high offense guys like Magnezone and Roaring Moon, and then a lot of them just have offense and support. A lot of utility across the team. Seems like Pixie will be able to make a lot of smart plays throughout the match if they use them wisely.
All right.
Let's see a little bit of Fury's team here, but Fury's top dog, so to speak, is going to be a Heatran, bringing it back. Heatran going to be using 3 different attacking stats, both special attack, attack, defense, with this 3 attack and protect moveset. We have Jolteon, a fast attacker with a little bit of support with Electro Web and Charm. Thunderbolt is that main attack, another protect. We're going to see Enamorus, double genies actually on this team. We got a mixed attacker again in the Enamorus, 3 attacks protect. You might be seeing a theme. Crawdaunt, we got another just powerful physical attacker with the Life Orb and adaptability. It's going to do a lot of damage. Landorus, we see, since the Life Orb's used, we have a Yachi Berry to protect it from ice moves. This one's going to be 2 attacks with Nasty Plot to help it set up, but just your standard Earth Power Sludge Bomb, doing a lot of damage with Sheer Force. And then we got a little bit of utility here with Gallade, 2 attacks with Trick Room in case we need to switch things around. So we got a couple speed control options. And some utility, but seems like a little more offensive of a play style than Pixie's team. What do you think, Yuliko?
Yeah, the Heatran set is interesting, like you pointed out. We have all three different offensive stats, but it can do a lot of damage. It has a high defense stat, and specifically like that heavy slam into the Gardevoir, for example, that probably just picks it up. I would be surprised if it didn't. I know you probably haven't seen this, you haven't been following, but the Crawdaunt has been doing a lot of work for Fury here. Just those boosted Crab Hammers, the adaptability boosted, has been doing a lot of damage, more than people are anticipating, and it really forces some respect in prep. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, and let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, the Trick Room. I'd be curious to see how the Trick Room comes into play. This team is there's some slow guys and there's some fast guys, right? You have the Jolteon and the Landorus, which are pretty fast, but the Crawdaunt would really appreciate that Trick Room, and we have even the Mental Herb to secure that. So, without further ado here, I think we are getting into our round 1, Pixixy versus Fury for the semifinals.
Yeah. See, we're starting off here with Jolteon and Gallade. We got a fast and slow option here versus our Mew and Gyarados. Should we tell the people about the Terras on these teams real quick?
Yeah, so on currently the Mew on the field could Terra Fairy. That's the only currently active Terra. The Roaring Moon is also Terra Bug on that team. And on Fury's team, you have the option for the Terra Water Crawdaunt to really boost that damage, and then the Terra Steel and Hammers to, for defensive ability.
Yeah. What do we think we're looking at here with this kind of lead? I imagine Fury's. I feel like Fury might be trying to get their Trick Room set up and have the Jolteon as a ploy, or maybe Charm, maybe switch out. But could be just giving you option either way if he wants to go fast mode or slow mode, or she wants to go fast or slow mode.
Yeah. I mean, hard to tell. The Gallade is not that slow. The Trick Room isn't necessary here, and especially with Electroweb support maybe from that Jolteon. I mean, the Gyarados is quite pressured here. We are seeing the Gyarados going for Protect in the face of the Electric type damage.
Very scared of the electric move, yeah.
And that is a Thunderbolt going out, keeping the Gyarados honest.
Fair enough.
Oh, and the Earth Power coming out, and doesn't quite take out the Jolteon. Oh, that was a critical hit.
Critical hit. Wow, this is might be a bulky Jolteon. We do see the Trick Room go up. So that Jolteon is not in the best of places, but assumably Fury knows what they're doing, and is going to bring in a threat to start cleaning up using these turns.
Yeah, the Trick Room going up here definitely opens up the board for Crawdont or Namorous or Heatran to all do big damage. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this Jolteon switching out for later. We do see the Gyarados switching out, still checked by that Jolteon even with the speed advantage. So here comes the Roaring Moon, and that is the booster on the Roaring Moon.
It's going to be booster
attack. So
attack. That's good. That's good in this situation. You don't want to see the booster speed.
Right. That wouldn't really be helpful here. The Jolteon protects, and we see a Leaf Blade come out into the Mew, not really doing too much damage.
Doing a lot.
And the coaching.
Ooh! This is a scary Roaring Moon with basically 2 little attack boosts and a defense boost there. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's a strategy we've been seeing Pixixy use a lot, is having these very defensive Pokemon, but using coaching and other support options to Mew to boost the Roaring Moon. We're going to see the Terastallization coming out. That is going to be the old trusty Terra Bug on that Roaring Moon.
Yeah, probably to dodge a Sacred Sword.
Yeah, that would make sense. Sacred Sword, of course, would go through the coaching defense boost, so has benefit there. And yeah, Sacred Sword otherwise not doing too much damage. Yeah,
there's a good tear on Pixie's part here. Definitely got the results wanted. We see a KO taken up with the Jolteon. Probably use Psychic just to see if there's a switch out. There's a good play there. And this Acrobatics, we're going to see.
Yeah, just takes out the Gallade. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to have something in the back to deal with this Roaring Moon. The Heatran would be pretty good. I'm sure a Heat Wave would do a lot of damage, but Roaring Moon has a naturally high special bulk, I believe. So we'll have to see what the best option is here. And we also see the Crawdont coming out.
Now, just so I know, on the side of the screen, I see Therian and Namorous. On the team sheet, it was Incarnate. Do you know which one it actually is?
It should be. I believe the one that's in game is correct.
Okay.
Yes. I think that's just a thing on overlay, but we will see the Mew switching out here defensively, because that knockoff would be pressuring super effective damage, probably a KO in favor for the Gyarados.
Yeah, let's see.
So yeah, knockoff did go into that Gyarados and take off that clearance, and the Heat Wave came out into a protect from the Roaring Moon, which makes sense.
Is our Gyarados going on?
So yeah, the Gyarados holds on from the knockoff and the Heat Wave combination, but the Heatran and the Crawdont are still, I think, in a really good spot to do a lot of damage here. I mean, the Roaring Moon is going to be the slowest thing here, right, in the Trick Room, that is.
Yeah, and you really don't want to switch it out and lose all those boosts. I mean, the double KO the previous turn wasn't looking great, but it actually got in 2 of our Trick Room sweepers right in there for Fury.
Yeah.
We have what?
Now,
is it?
Yeah.
More turns or 1 more turn of Trick Room?
I think maybe 2 more. I'm not entirely sure, but
I think it's 2.
Yeah, so we would see the Roaring Moon actually switching out to forfeit those boosts, which makes sense because it just was under a lot of pressure here. The Dugong coming in.
Fake out pressure. If it survives this turn, we can have some nice fake out. Ooh, we see a dodge with the Crab Hammer.
Yeah. A burn.
A burn.
Burn onto the Gyarados. So
interesting. A very interesting turn with the luck. Now, if we want to see a bunch of hacks come out, this is how you do it, Pixie. There's always a win con with a Thunder Wave. Yeah, that burn really putting Gyarados on a timer. It might not have that many more turns, even if it's an attacked. But the Twisted Dimensions are back to normal, so Trick Room's
Okay, so that
officially
was the last
stalled out,
one.
and it's not going to be set back up.
Yeah, and this Gyarados Waterfall really is not going to do that much damage in this Heatran. It's so bulky and it's burnt now. You do have the option to go for Waterfall into the Crawdont to really try to play for the paralysis or the flinch. We'll have to see. We just see Fake Out coming out into that Crawdont.
Yeah,
and a Waterfall.
Just trying to get the super
much.
effective damage. Yeah, you're right. Not a lot. Not a lot. I don't believe we've seen a Terra from Fury's side yet, have we?
No, I don't think we have. Also, the Waterfall flinch did come through there, so Fury did not even get to act at all this turn. But the Gyarados will go down to that burn damage.
Yeah, that burn's pretty unfortunate for Pixie, but dodging the Crab Hammer already was probably, might have put him in a similar situation if he didn't.
Yeah, and the Roaring Moon just gets to come back in here with the speed advantage now. It doesn't have amazing moves to hit these Pokemon, especially the seemingly very defensive Heatran. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Maybe why we're not seeing.
Yeah, and the Dugong is also quite limited in the options it has. It only has Ice Beam as an attacking move, which is not gonna look good into either of these Pokemon. So its only role here really was to get that Fake Out and buy time. I don't really see what else it can really do here. And we already
if I'm Fury, I'm going to be ignoring that Dugong and let it sit on the field as much as possible. Seems like Pixie knows that it might be a bit of a sitting and see if he could get a safer swap. We do see the Terra coming out. We know that's going to have to be on the Crawdont. They are going to go to Terra Water just to pick up some extra power. And that's really going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this Terra Water Crabhammer just takes out the Roaring Moon if it gets the chance to move. But that will be protecting the Roaring Moon. That's pretty safe, like you said. The Dugong was probably not going to get targeted that turn. We do see the Aqua Jet.
That's pretty smart, making sure you get to use first with the Terra. That's probably would do a lot of damage still.
Right.
Heat Wave is going to hit the Mew.
Yeah, not do too much damage, but still. And the Leftover is really coming into play here, just slowly bringing that Heatran back up to full. It's so bulky here, and the Mew does have the option for Psychic, though. For Earth Power, super effective Earth Power into that Heatran.
Yeah, there we go. That's Pixie's best tool to take out this Heatran right now. So this Mew is actually pretty important.
Yeah, we're going to see the knockoff go into the protected Crawdont. And my guess would be, an Earth Power. How much does this do? Doesn't take it out. The Heat Wave gets to come out. Doesn't quite take out that Roaring Moon.
You can see an Aqua Jet. Next turn, Furies can pick off whoever they want. Although they have to play the Protect game.
That's true. I mean, unless, the Thunder Wave has anything to say about it, of course. But
that's true.
In theory, taking out...
I guess you can take out the Mew is a safe play, but you may really want to take out that Roaring Moon. Heatran's going to protect just in case. I imagine
the Aqua Jet does come through.
Going into that Mew. Let's see if the Roaring Moon end up targeting. This could be a big turn to decide the game, whoever this move gets off.
Oh, we'll be knocked off into the Crawdont, so the Heatran was...
That does a lot of damage. And the Fake Out can come out next turn.
That's true. Notably, though, Aqua Jet is still in play. The Crawdont does have the option to protect here. They both have Heatran and Crawdont both have the option to protect, so we can use.
Well, Heatran would have to do a double protect.
Oh, that's true. They just protect.
This is a very interesting turn because depending if Fury reads the Fake Out call right, they might be able to take out this Roaring Moon, and then they're probably looking really good. But if Pixie can read it right, they could take out the Heatran for free, or maybe they can take out this Crawdont for free.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of, it all depends on calling this Fake Out correctly. I think
it's an exciting turn.
Yeah, all these Pokemon have such low HP. We usually protect a successful double protect from Heatran, right?
Well, let's see. Did we try to get a protect with our Crawdont as well? Oh, that was the play. That was the play, making sure there's no Fake Out coming out.
Yeah, and with this, I think Fury's an amazing spot, right? As long as we can successfully get an Aqua Jet off the next turn and just take out that Roaring Moon, this Dugong just can't do anything against these two, unfortunately.
Yeah. We see Pixie played it safe. We're splitting the targets up, so if that double protect didn't go off, that knockoff might have taken out the Heatran.
I think that was the right move. It's just, unfortunately, that double protect really kind of just changing the trajectory of this game. Oh,
Yeah.
but no,
We don't see
no
an
Aqua
Aqua
Jet.
Jet into the Roaring Moon. I'm very surprised. Oh, but the burn.
Yeah,
Yikes.
interesting. This, I think, will still be okay unless there's a full paralysis here, of course.
Yeah, I don't think that was the optimal play from Fury, but I think they'll still be the
Oh,
same spot. Whoa!
no, but the Ice Beam actually takes out the Crawdon. So I think,
I
yeah, I
didn't
think
realize
Fury
the
had to go
Crawdon
for the
was so
Aqua
low.
Jet.
I think yeah, the no
Yeah,
Aqua Jet. I guess it wouldn't have mattered here, right? Well, no, it would have. It would have. The Aqua
yeah,
Jet. Wow.
yeah. It's something. I think the Crawdon was just slowly getting chipped from that Life Orb recoil, especially,
That's
and
true. That's true.
it's hard to say. Maybe Fury thought that they would live the Ice Beam, or they didn't want to risk the Aqua Jet damage. I would expect that Terrawater Aqua Jet to be able to take out the Roaring Moon at what it was
Oh, I
at.
would. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I that was a very very close game. I mean, all those Pokemon were so low, and
Yeah.
even I thought the double attack was going to kind of change it, but Pixixy found their way through that game.
Yeah. So let's see. So for Fury, I mean, Fury was really close to a victory there. So I wonder how they might try to adapt. Whether they want to continue with the Trick Room strategy, maybe leading with a sweeper that can put on a little more instant pressure, or if they want to move into more of this fast mode with the Jolteon stuff.
Yeah, I
There's a
mean, I
lot of
think Trick
speed
Room.
sweepers.
Yeah. Trick Room, I think overall looks pretty good still, right? That Crawdon and the Heatran both look quite offensively strong, right? You only have, I mean, the Dugong just isn't providing any offensive support, and
Mhm.
I mean, you have the Magnezone, but I would think the Magnezone is still, actually, yeah, I don't know how the speed interact. It kind of depends on the speed interactions, on the speed investment, because the Magnezone, very strong, and even if a Heat Wave comes through, it does have the sturdy to take one, so it's kind
Yeah,
of
the
up to Pixixy if you're
Magnezone's
gonna, yeah.
Magnezone's a real tempting option. The choice specs is going to do so much damage, especially when we were worried about how Pixie was going to be able to get through that Heatran. I imagine some Thunderbolts would do a lot of damage, but it's getting checked really well by the Jolteon and the Landorus, both of
Right.
which one of which didn't come, one of which didn't have too major of a role. But I wonder if Pixie's just too worried about bringing the Magnezone, where two Mons are immune to it.
Yeah, that's very fair. You don't want to lock into electric move for the reason you just said, and you don't want to lock into something like a flash can. I mean, the heat that just won't hit the Heatran. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, we'll see this game too. What the adaptations are from both sides. I mean, I liked that Heatran. I think looked very good overall, especially after the Terra Bug on the Roaring Moon. So I'd be curious to see if that comes into play here. We see the Jolteon and the
Absolutely.
Enamorus.
It's like a little bit of a faster mode versus the Roaring Moon and our Gardevoir. Now it's be a Choice Scarf Gardevoir, so
Right.
may end up being the fastest thing. Not exactly sure, but I imagine the Choice Scarf Gardevoir might be faster than the Jolteon. I assume that. Well, actually, I
Yeah,
don't know. That
and
Jolteon's pretty fast.
usually with the Choice Scarf Gardevoir, you have the option for Icy Wind, right? But there is the
Mhm.
contrary on that Enamorus, which will uh, have the inverse effect that you want, right?
Ooh, yeah, you got to be
So,
careful there.
but just locking yourself into Moonblast doesn't look too bad. And of course, this Roaring Moon is pressured double super effectively from the Play Rough from that Enamorus, so it will have to be
Yeah, that
careful of that.
Enamorus do some big damage there. I wonder if Pixie wants to take it out or protect or Terra. Just a lot of options are there, but you got to do something. Make sure that
Yeah,
you lose the Wrong Moon in one turn.
and this makes sense. We see the Terra coming through, losing that weakness, going to that Bug typing, which not only loses that Fairy weakness, but if Fury went for a superpower to try to boost himself, would be resisted. The Moonblast just coming out, dropping the special attack of the Jolteon, which may come into play. Oh, but it's actually the Charm that comes out.
Charm's gonna really decrease the damage output there. Just having the amount we're gonna do here. Knockoff
Yeah,
still
and
is able to pick up the KO.
yeah, and even though the Jolteon's gone here, this Roaring Moon's in an awkward spot because it already spent its booster energy. So if it wants to switch out to you know reset that attack drop, it's not gonna have access to that booster anymore. The superpower did come through. Fury trying to boost up, but getting met by that resistance in the Bug Terra.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if if that Enamorus wants to do a little more damage, it's gonna have to stop boosting. But the Heatran's gonna come out. Heatran's really threatening this bug. Now I wonder if Pixie has the Magnezone in the back. We see. I wonder if Pixie was really wanted to focus down that Jolteon so it could start ripping some Thunderbolts for free.
That's true. I mean, this Heatran looks very good right now. I mean, this Gardevoir is locked into a fairy move, which Heatran can just shrug off, and the well, the Roarman can hit it. Roarman can hit it. It has to first of all be careful of the Flame Body ability on that Heatran, and
Yeah,
also
active.
of course. Of course, the Heat Wave can just come in and do super effective damage to that Roaring Moon. Even if it doesn't take it out, just do big damage. So Pixixy can have to probably, reposition their Pokemon here to
Mhm.
to
Is
move
looking
forward
very
here.
scary. And that Enamorus can just keep boosting. Well, yeah, it's not going to do a lot of damage if it's boosting, but I imagine a +1 play rough's not going to do nothing.
Yeah, we do see the Gardevoir switching out in favor of the Mew here. Again, the Mew being the best offensive target for this Heatran, because it has a super effective Earth Power, right? We do see
Yeah.
Protect from the Enamorus.
So
And
yeah, I
what do we
imagine we
see
just
from
see a
the...
Heat Wave come out.
Oh,
Oh, a Heavy
actually a
Slam
Heavy
trying to
Slam.
take out the Gardevoir. This is a good,
Yeah.
he had a pretty good swap there.
Yeah, it doesn't do too much damage, but I mean, it's still it's tough to know what this investment on the Heatran is, given that it has the body press and it also has the heavy slam, but a good chip into the Mew nonetheless. But yeah, now that Heatran is threatened by that Earth power, or a double up from both targets, the Roaring Moon and the Mew. Although the Roaring Moon did have the attack drop, so it would like to switch out here, as we see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Magnezone.
Bringing in that Magnezone. A lot of damage able to do. The Heatran's going to protect. That's really good for Pixie because Pixie was trying to reposition this turn. Definitely didn't want it to get hit by a Heat Wave. The Mew's going to hang on there, setting up a Tailwind, letting it go faster. Now Pixie's looking in a pretty good position because Heatran just protected. I'm sure an Earth Power is not going to look too good for it, and Magnezone, unless Landorus is in the back, Magnezone can just start ripping out Thunderbolts or Volt Switches.
Yeah,
or
electric
something.
moves look so good, but yeah, Landorus would be a perfect switch on that slot, being immune to both the Earth power from the Mew and the electric move from the Magnezone. So we'll have to see.
If Pixie does have the Landorus in and they switches out, that I think it would be a very, very big game-changing move because then the Enamorus might be able to pick up. Oh, the Enamorus might be able to pick up the kill on the Mew, and then there'd be no Earth power.
And it is the Landorus.
Oh shoot!
That's the perfect defensive
real rough turn here.
Oh, and we also see the Terra Steel, which loses that super effective weakness to the electric moves. We saw how much that play rough did. This is no slouch. This Enamorus, it's going to do big damage. Superpower also.
It is.
Potentially.
And I bet it's going to take out this Mew here, and then the Earth Power is gone. It's going to be very hard to take out the Heatran and this. But we're going for the Magnezone. Magnezone is able to hang on even without Sturdy, but that's a lot of damage and another attack and defense boost. But an empty turn on Pixie's side, you gotta make that risk when you're doing those two moves in the same Pokemon. It could just switch out. Really must have not thought Landorus was in the back.
I mean, it's tricky because that Heatran just was so threatening that you had to respect it. But just having the perfect type synergy between the Heatran and the Landorus just really paying off for Fury. The Landorus, I think, now would be the the Tailwind is up on this side, so it's not the fastest thing on the field.
Up.
A Psychic
We
actually
get
comes out first.
a little bit of damage. We're just trying to chip down here.
Oh, a Sludge Bomb.
Opposing Landorus is still faster than the Magnezone. I wonder if that was unknown.
Yeah, I mean, the Magnezone is still pretty slow. Fury going for the Sludge Bomb and Superpower combo into that Magnezone, potentially reading a potential switch back into a Gardevoir or something like that. Covers a few options. The Gardevoir here, coming out here.
Yeah, Gardevoir, notably with the Icy Wind, which, there's going to be Contrary, but there's also going to be a 4 times weak Landorus.
Yeah, the Icy Wind looking really good here, but the question is that what you want to lock into with resisted target into that Enamorus and resisted Heatran, so you might just want to, it's really tricky, right? You could lock into Aura Sphere to hit the Enamorus and the Heatran super effectively, but then you're not hitting the Landorus, so Pixixy really has to choose here what the biggest threat is.
Because that Mew's really low, so if the Mew goes down, then that's a rest of the game move lock-in. So Fury just really played their team very well this game. A lot of good synergy. I think the Landorus was a really good adjustment.
Yes, very very true. The Mew switching out here to preserve that. Roaring Moon coming back here, locking into the Aura Sphere. I wonder what he's gonna do. Does a lot of damage.
Did a big chunk of damage actually.
Yeah, the citrus berry will proc here, which is helpful. I don't think it'll save it from another aura sphere, but
Another Orsi will do. But there is a Sludge Bomb that I don't know if the...
oh,
We are
barely
going to
hanging
hang on just barely, unless it was
the double.
doubled. Yeah. They want to
Yeah.
make sure they have the speed advantage, I think. I think our Tailwind is either going to peter out or next turn. Yep, right here.
Yeah, and with that, we don't know who's fast between the Landorus and the Roaring Moon. I think the Roaring Moon has a faster base speed, of course, but with Tailwind on that side, you don't know what the investment is necessarily. So that's gonna make a big difference, I think.
Yeah. Even still, I'm thinking things are looking really good for Fury. They still have the Heat Train in the back with, I think, full HP. That would definitely take a hit. Let's see how much the knockoff. The knockoff is going to take out the Landorus.
Yeah. That was important for Pixixy to even have a chance to stay in this game. Just taking out, and then the Play Rough coming out and taking out the Mew.
Yeah, the Mew to make sure no Earth Power is going to come out for that Heat Train. So it's really going to be a 1v2, and that Heat Train is just going to do so much damage to the Terra Bug Roaring Moon.
Yeah, and even if the Roaring Moon does big damage to this Heat Train, there's always the risk of Flame Body, for example.
Yeah.
I don't think this Roaring Moon can do it. I mean, the Roaring Moon is quite strong. And the knockoff coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, it does so little damage. Well, his defense boost from the.
There's so many defense boosts. Yeah.
And playoffs just took it out.
And Amorous just got to sit on the field the whole game, get like 2 superpowers, basically 2 bulk ups with attack. It's like, yeah, Fury really played around very well that one. It is unfortunate, I think both players had a 1-mon adaptation. I imagine Pixie thought that it was safer to bring in the Magnezone because there was no Landorus, and then had a rude awakening. So I wonder if Magnezone's going to be here again. I bet we'll see Landorus again. The Landorus seemed really good.
Yeah, just the defensive synergy, like I was pointing out before. I mean, they are both weak to water, the Landorus and the Heatran, but otherwise, between ice moves, between ground moves, their switching capability is really strong.
No Gyarados this game, so that wasn't punished at all.
Right. No Gyarados, and like you said, the Enamorous, which is not that bulky for Pokemon at first, just getting to click superpower, even into resisted targets, just paid off over time, and it was so difficult to remove physically with all those defense boosts. So I do wonder, what are the options here? I mean, again, like you said, the Magnezone can do big damage into certain targets. It's just about choice locking it is very dangerous.
If I'm Pixie, I think the first game that the Dugong didn't do as much as I would have wanted it to for a Pokemon slot. And then I think in this one it's really a tough call whether you bring a Magnezone or not if I'm too worried about it getting locked out. But
yeah, I kind of like the Gyarados overall because it's threatened by the Jolteon, but otherwise not much. But we will see the Jolteon leading again, so I do understand leaving it behind. So the Jolteon and the Gallade versus the Gardevoir and the Mew.
I think both teams have their speed control all out on the table here. I think we're gonna see our Gardevoir going first, and then but that Gallade, Gallade could set Trick Room and really spell trouble. If Pixie sets Tailwind and Trick Room goes up, that's gonna be really rough for Pixie.
That's true. We do have a super effective Moonblast threatening into that Gallade, which I am not sure if it could take that or not. It completely depends on the investment. And
it's decent special defense, but still,
it definitely does. But Gardevoir with Moonblast is no slouch.
Not at all.
But,
Pixie might even consider doubling just to make sure.
Oh yeah, we do see the Moonblast coming out.
Moonblast, wow, just barely holds on. Do we see a double from Pixie? That would be a very good first turn.
The Psychic does come out into the Jolteon.
Oh, it goes to the Jolteon.
Oh, but actually
a Leaf Blade comes out. No Trick Room.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we both thought that the speed control would be coming out this turn, but it's just damage, and the Gallade barely hanging on, just taking out that Gardevoir, which the Gardevoir was definitely providing strong damage overall. Aura Sphere into some of those targets, so good to remove that offensive threat now. But the Roaring Moon gets to come in here now, and but again, that Charm from the Jolteon, like we saw that first game, could be a big factor here.
Yeah, that Jolteon's not going to be the fastest thing on the field. Pixie was not able to take care of it. Now I do imagine this Gallade's going to be really pressured. It's really low HP. It's probably not going to be as fast. Not going to be as fast as what's on the field. I wonder if we might see a Protect from it. See, like, Pixie's trying to do a little defensive play, protect the Roaring Moon, and do some coaching, maybe bait out a protect from the opposing Gallade. Seems to work out pretty well.
Yeah, I think this turn worked out really well for Pixixy. We do see the Less Web coming out, but between the Protect on the Roaring Moon and the Covert Cloak on the Mew, that's actually going to do have no speed implications.
No speed drop. Because that's very interesting, because Pixie could be in a good spot. If the Mew can probably pick up the KO on that Gallade before it's able to move, and then the Roaring Moon, we might be able to see a double KO from Pixie here.
Yeah,
Jolteon does have the ability to protect, I think.
Right. The Jolteon is faster than the Roaring Moon, right? So it will get Charm off if it wants.
But we saw last game that it's still going to get killed through that, I think.
Yes. So, like you said, this could be a double knockout. And I think it will be a double knockout, unless Pixixy goes for a coaching or a Tailwind here, which is an option, but is dangerous in the face of that Trick Room if,
Yeah, I think the Psychic, a good play here. Pixie was able to turn that around there. I do think, the Roaring Moon may have had that charm, but it had booster energy and had a coaching attack, so it's probably a little higher than neutral, I think.
I think so. It's at net -1 attack and has the booster attack in play, right?
Is those canceled then that way?
Well, so the booster attack would be like a Life Orb boost, like a 1.3 boost. So it's not. It's actually
booster attack's only 1.3.
Yes.
Oh.
So
it is a little lower.
It's a little bit less than neutral, but still going to do good damage. And another coaching in here would, especially with both of these very slow opponents, the Heatran and the Crawdon. Yeah, a coaching here can come into play. Oh, beating out the Protect from the Heatran. This is exactly what Pixie wants to see, right?
This is exactly what Pixie wanted here. Now, this Crawdon might be able to do really big damage to the Mew. Crawdon, I imagine, with a Dark move, could pick up a one-hit KO. So that would be hard to deal with that Heatran. I don't know.
It does. So, not a terrible turn for Fury, but this Roaring Moon getting stronger and stronger, especially having the defense boost. It resists both of Crawdon's attacks, or both its stabs, that is. So if we remove the Heatran here, it's pretty good. I don't know.
I just don't know. I don't know how much damage it's going to be able to do this Heatran. I feel like you really wanted to preserve the Mew there, especially knowing we just have Dugong in the back. The fake out pressure is really real here. You might be able to fake out into that Heatran, although it could get another double protect. We'll see if Fury wants to protect both of their Mons again, or try to call something. It looks like just the Crawdon, I think, is protecting here based on the speed order.
Yeah,
but we do see a fake out coming into the Heatran.
Yeah. Oh, and the Flame Body does activate here, which won't make much of a difference, most likely.
Just do a little bit of chip, but let's see.
Yeah, I'm surprised. The Crawdon didn't feel that threatening to me. Again, it doesn't do that much damage to the boosted up Roaring Moon, and the Dugong is going to resist the water type damage. It's going to take damage from the knockoff. So this Heatran being such high HP, I'm worried that it can
probably a little higher priority. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how much damage we're going to be able to do that Heatran. I wonder if Pixie just wants to ignore it until it's the last thing by itself, if it's easy to take out the Crawdon, but I don't know. I think just letting it Heat Wave, I think if you get burned on that Roaring Moon, I think you just lose the game.
Yeah, and the Acrobatics comes out and does actually not pick up that Crawdon.
The Ice Beam's doing nothing.
Yeah, Ice Beam isn't doing anything.
I think this is what we need.
Wow.
I guess we're not doing a lot here to...
Oh, wow.
Oh, that unfortunately.
Yeah, the damage calc's not going exactly how we anticipated. The body press doing very little with the double defense boost from the coaching. But the knockoff just taking out that Dugong. So is it just the Roaring Moon by itself now? Is that all that's left?
Just the Roaring Moon by itself. That Gardevoir went down really early. I think the Roaring Moon can definitely pick off the Crawdon if it doesn't protect, but I don't think it's going to be able to get through the Heatran in time.
Yeah, I think there's too much, and there's another Pokemon. No, these are the last two on Fury's side, right?
These are the last two. I think Fury's really in a good spot, because if Fury also could do a Protect, and if Pixie calls to Protect appropriately, then that could be really huge for them. But I think if they just keep attacking...
Yeah, I agree. We're seeing the Terra Water here, which no reason not to spend. I mean, just going for a free Aqua Jet at least, right?
Oh, we see the Protect just to... Pixie maybe trying to bait out a Protect from the opponent, see what's going on.
Yeah.
We see the double attack, which I think is the right move. I think that's what you want to do in this case. Just that Pixie can take someone out, or take the Crawdon out, so you just get the damage off.
Yeah, we do still have that Terra mind game, right? The Terra bug versus the natural type in the Roaring Moon definitely changes what move Heatran wants to click.
That's
But we
true.
do see the Opportune coming out, doing not much damage. But I wonder, will the
Twisted.
Life Orb? Oh no, it does still hang on even after the Life Orb recoil.
Yeah. I
Oh,
imagine, yeah, if think about Life Orb Rico, you probably didn't want to hit that Crawdon because it wasn't doing much damage to you and it was just going to take itself out. I
yeah.
think
I
it was
wonder, are we gonna
really
is it
good
gonna be
if
another Heat Wave or gonna be a Body Press? It's another Heat Wave, which is
we were
enough
trying to get
damage.
the
It's not.
burn here.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see how much damage this does, how many knockoffs it takes. Well,
It does more than half.
it
So
took one knockoff, but it's not gonna do as much damage on the
another
next
Heat
one.
Wave.
I think it depends on if there's a burn here, but I think it's gonna take two knockoffs without the item.
Oh,
So we
true.
just have to
I
see.
forgot the item.
We
Oh,
just
but the
have to
Heat
see
Wave
if a burn comes
misses.
out.
The Heat Wave misses.
Oh, well, that seems like it sealed up the game for Pixie's favor here.
Yeah, and I'm realizing now I said that body press was an option, but I understand why Fury didn't want to go for body press given those defense boosts on the Roaring Moon. I think Heat Wave probably does do more damage than the body press potentially, or it's close. And
Yeah,
at least you have to
and
play
the
the Terra Mind
burn
game,
was
right?
really the burn would have been really good. I think I think even
Yeah,
without fishing for the burn, that's the right play. But yeah,
between the flame now we got the flame body, but it's too
we
late, of
got a
course.
little too late.
Yeah, between the Heat Wave and the flame bodies, there were chances for burn. Yeah, Pixixy
Definitely
finding their way
scary to
through
be
there.
Pixie's
I think,
we've had Pixie's
yeah.
2 wins, but both of them were very close. Whereas Fury's win was pretty decisive, I would say.
Yeah.
In the game they won.
I think what I noticed there is the Roaring Moon is quite strong into the team, especially with those coaching boosts. It's just that
Mm.
early charm really offset its offensive potential. So maybe
Yeah,
we can
imagine
lead them to take care
power.
of the Jolteon early on, and then bring in the Roaring Moon to kind of sweep. Especially the Roaring Moon was not pressured to Terra Bug there, and since it doesn't have to Terra Bug, it can really handle the Heatran a lot better than if it was weak to those Heat Waves, right?
To me, it seems like Pixie would be in a pretty good spot with those three, and then bringing in the Gyarados for the Dugong. Again, I think we see the Dugong really not putting in that much work. I mean, the fake out is nice for one turn, but after that, then it just kind of it's really not contributing a lot. I mean, maybe Pixie's hoping to catch the Dugong against the Landorus because an Ice Beam could do a lot of damage, but is that really enough of a reason to bring it? I don't think so personally.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. And Landers was left behind for this third game, which seemed to be I mean, was a decent call given the Dugong coming back, like you said. It does have the haze option for things like the nasty plot on the Landorus or like the boosting on the that's for the Landorus and the boosting on the Namorous. But
True.
but you don't want to
Definitely
haze
can.
your own coaching boosts, right?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
At the same time,
I
you
guess
might want to
you
haze
can
your
haze the
charm.
charm away.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so,
possible. Yeah, I
that's
feel like
interesting.
a lot of the matchup has been decided by who Fury wants to bring. Like, there was no Landorus game 1, so then Magnezone came game 2, but got really messed up by the Landorus, so it didn't come back. Now Landorus didn't come back, so we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah, it's kind of
happens.
this back and forth, like you said. Some Pokemon just can't do much into others, but it's interesting. I'm surprised we're not seeing the Gyarados. I feel like it's pretty good other than the Jolteon. This would be the no Jolteon lead. I think for the first time this set.
This would be interesting. Yeah, gotta have that Enamorus is back. Enamorus putting in a lot of work last time. I think definitely a good call. And then we have the Gallade here, so Gallade might be able to set a Trick Room. Might be able to start doing some pretty good damage. It's gonna have to do its neutral. Non-stab Leaf Blade if it wants to do damage, but it's still a pretty strong Pokemon, so you gotta
Yeah, one
respect it.
interesting option that we haven't seen so far is actually the Taunt on the Enamorus, which could shut down the Mew from going for its supportive options like the Tailwind and like Coaching, which could make a big difference throughout the game.
It's true.
Of course, that Moonblast threatening super effective damage in the Glade, but we saw from the first game that it did not take it out in one hit, so a double up would be needed for that.
Yeah, we saw Pixie. Maybe Pixie will double up this time if they think that Fury's gonna try to set up the Trick Room.
Right. There is the Protect
But,
on the Blade though, so it's not
Yeah, it is.
free.
It's
and
not
we
free.
actually-
So seems like
Yeah.
there is the Protect there, trying to read out a double and see if they could do something with the Enamorus. But I think Pixie was prepared for that because the Moonblast goes out into the Enamorus and does half its health. That was a very good Moonblast.
Yeah. And I wonder what this Mew's gonna do. It could maybe potential setup. But we do see the Taunt
See,
coming
well,
through.
Fun coming out. So let's see. Hopefully it wasn't a Tailwind or or definitely not coaching, but We see a Psychic.
Oh,
We see,
double.
okay, so Pixie was able to read that turn pretty well. Just doing some
Yeah.
pretty solid damage to the Enamorous. No Tailwind still is going to be coming out, so maybe that will affect the future turns unless Pixie switches, but just
Yeah,
got some free damage.
It would have been an aggressive decision to tail in that first turn in the face of Trick Room, right?
Absolutely,
But
especially if you're leaving the Glade alone. I don't know, if I'm
right.
Pixie this time, I think I might double the Glade slot because it just protected.
Yeah, I mean, a Moonblast or a Psychic or a Moonblast, maybe even Earth Power could kind of cover, I think,
Yeah.
everything basically, right? Especially.
Yeah.
Oh, the Psychic going into the Crawdon though.
Ooh, no.
Interesting decision.
And the trick, let the Trick Room go up. I think that was a misplay.
Yeah, it's
Now-
tough to say. I mean,
Scarf
we knew the
Gardevoir is
Moonblast
now
wasn't
in a
gonna.
really tough spot.
Yeah. I mean, the Gardevoir not known for its physical bulk. I'm sure this Crawdon can make quick work of it.
Crawdon can take it out. Because yeah, if Gardevoir was going first, that Moonblast would probably take out the Crawdon. I think it was a really free slot to just protected last turn. It's might go for the Trick Room. Just make sure you take it out.
And I think this is the Leaf Blade is going to come out into this Mew, and it's going to do a Psychic and take out the Gallade, but that's kind of what Fury wants. It gets to bring in either that Heatran or or something like that to really take advantage of the Trick Room here.
At one turn too late. That was a really big swing, I think.
Yeah.
I think it seems like Pixie might try to stall out some of these Trick Room turns again, but just didn't have to be this way. Heatran's coming out. Heatran and Crawdon in Trick Room is very, very threatening for our team.
Yeah,
that's the
position Fury wants to be in, right? That's the position Fury wants to be in. I think that's been we're looking the best, and we also have the Fake Out pressure to help stall out those turns, but
even then, these are not the two most offensive people. Although Earth Power would do a lot of damage to an Heatran. So honestly, I think you could protect Heatran pretty freely this turn to make sure it doesn't get Earth Powered, and then Crawdon has no need to. Crawdon's not really that threatened. Crawdon could just take out the Mew with a knockoff.
I would agree. Pixixy could go for a very aggressive play, like hard switching the Dugong into a Roaring Moon and coaching if they want to take advantage of protecting.
Like Fury wanted to play safe, just keep the lead with a double protect. I think that's still a pretty solid play.
Yeah, it makes sense for Fury again, only punished by a very aggressive play from Pixixy, which I don't think they need to make. They are up a game, so they don't have to make a super aggressive play to stay in it. But yeah, now that the Fake Out is no longer active and the Heatran and the Crawdon just are the two slowest Pokemon. I mean, a super effective knockoff into the Mew and any Heatran attack into the Dugong is just going to be really strong, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately that Mew can't protect, and Mew's definitely the one that wants to be targeted there. I don't think Fury's worried about that Dugong.
Right. I mean, the Fury could cover for a switch and maybe clicking both a knockoff and a body press into that slot if they're predicting a Roaring Moon, which does come out here. Pixixy
I don't know. I don't know if I like that play. I think Mew was the target, and I don't know if I want to switch in my best damage dealer into that slot that turn.
Well, it's kind of you're calling. I mean, the Crawdon can't do that much damage to the Roaring Moon, right? It's resisting, so it's kind of calling. I mean, the knockoff.
It's true.
Still doing a decent amount of damage, but yeah, I mean that was with no item as well, and
no item
coming out into the Dugong. Yeah.
A lot. Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
This worked out for Pixixy, but it was risky, right? If you took that super effective body press into the Roaring Moon, that would have been very bad.
Would have been really bad, yeah. Now there's I believe one more turn of Trick Room to stall out, so they're at least able to stall out the protect. Maybe Dugong might meet its end, but Trick Room should be over.
That's kind of what you want. I feel like the Dugong to meet its end. It's really doing absolutely nothing on the field here, and it really allows Fury to just kind of, safely double that other slot, even if the Roaring goes for protect, which is somewhat, telegraphed. That's like okay for Fury because what's the Dugong gonna do? Except of course switch into the Mew, right? That's the opportunity the best thing that the Dugong is doing is leaving that.
Is getting out of there to reset Fake Out.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're able to take advantage of that. See if we lose the Mew here. Oof. That was red. I mean, that very safe play, honestly. That's the move you'd want to use into the Dugong anyway. So I'm not sure if that was a read, but I think Pixie's been kind of making some dangerous plays this game, and I really think it's coming back to bite them, because they could have just let the Dugong die and then had the Mew out faster, but now it's gonna be really hard to hit that Heatran.
Yeah, I mean, if Fury wants, they can just protect on both their Pokemon here to avoid the Fake Out, protect on both the Crawdon and the Heatran. And again, we saw this in the previous game. I mean, we did see the Roaring Moon come back against these two, but That was with some coaching.
That was
boosts,
with
I
coaching
believe.
boosts. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there is still Terra mind games to play, but you can only do that for one turn if you Terra. After the Terra, then Heat Wave just becomes
Yeah,
super
but Heatran
free.
did not protect here. Heatran did just. Oh, we'll be taking a knockoff, which doing a little less
Pixie
than
knowing
half.
damage here. Body press
A
coming
bu-
out. Ooh,
Yeah,
it's
just
gonna
picks it
be.
up.
That's gonna be this game.
Yeah, without those coaching boosts were so vital in the previous games to defend against that body press, and with just the
Yeah,
ice beam, yeah, I don't
it's
think it's
not.
gonna work out unless we're getting a lot of freezes or I don't.
No, I really think Pixie could have picked up this whole game if they had just doubled the Glade that turn. I think they did a really good job on the first turn, ignoring it and protecting it. That was a really great call. But then just letting it get the Trick Room up really changed the game.
Yeah, I like that Fury kind of hard called or kind of forced Pixixy to make that play. Like I know you can double my Gallade to stop Trick Room, so do it then. And if you don't, I will set up Trick Room because it's kind of worth the game. And even if the Glade's double into it, lets the partner act for free. So I really like Fury keeping Pixixy honest there to really
It really worked out for them, yeah.
Yeah.
And so once again, yeah, we see we're kind of like if Fury's able to get the upper hand, they can win pretty handedly. We're Pixie,
Yeah.
but we still 2-2. Both competitors have plenty of chance. We could see maybe we'll see some adaptations from either side. I don't know.
Mean, again, we kind of have this like rock paper scissors, like you said. Like the Jolteon is really good and stuff like the Gyarados, right? And if the Landorus comes, it's a really great switch in, but it's also weak to the Dugong, which keeps showing up, and it's just
I
kind of
think
like
I don't know. It's tough because there was no Jolteon the last game, so maybe Pixie wants to go for the Gyarados, and I do think maybe the game one Gyarados didn't go so great because it got burned, but I think Gyarados it would be really nice to have an extra counter to Heatran.
Right. I guess the tricky thing about Gyarados, of course, is that it would be giving a Namorous the attack raise instead of the attack, lower because of the contrary.
True.
Which
That would be tough. You gotta.
I think that
the
was one of the reasons that we're
tough. Yeah, kind of a tough bring. The contrary team. It's a bold call to bring the Intimidate.
I mean, I understand why it might happen. I mean, to make something like the Crawdon is really nice, or the Gallade
as well. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, with the Jolteon and the combination of that, I kind of understand why Pixie has been leaving Gyarados at home, although, the Dugong not doing that much. We see the laners in the lead here. I think that's the first time we're seeing that. So a brand new lead for the last game of our set here.
We do see that we do know Magnus in the back for this one, so it's going to be very interesting. I wonder how Pixie's feeling about this.
Yeah, so what we know is that the Moonblast cannot take out this Glade in one hit. So it will take. If you want to deny the Trick Room for sure, you will have to double the Gallade. Of course, last time this happened, the Gallade.
There's a protect coming out.
So I don't know if this is a safe play, right? You really don't want that Trick Room to go up. Although the Landers on the field is just pretty fast, so maybe you do. But the Landers also has the Sludge Bomb, which could click into the Gardevoir, and I think it didn't take it out, but it did a lot of damage last time.
I think it was really close to taking it out. I don't know, that Landorus, it's not really safe to double any one player because the Trick Room could really change the game, but that Landorus can just do so much damage too. I don't know. I think I'm Pixie. Yeah, that Mew's not really in that great of a spot in the lead, not able to do very much to either. I don't know if
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, we see the Moonblast does go out, and there's no protecting the Glade. The Sludge Bomb's gonna go out.
Yeah, doesn't take
big
out.
damage to the Gardevoir as we expected. Do we see the double here?
We
do see the double, and Trick Room is denied. Okay, this is a big turn for Pixie.
I mean, obviously a safe play from Pixixy. That's like the obvious play, but at this point we've been through all the iterations. That kind of makes the most sense.
Right? Came back out. I think that was a call they had to make.
Yeah. And now the Moonblast locked in. So the Gardevoir is weak to the Aqua Jet, right? Aqua Jet would come out and just take it out.
Yeah, I think that seems like a pretty safe play on the side of Fury. We see that Mew has the ability to Terra Fairy, and so it's going to take way less damage from the knockoff if that happens. That could be important in case they're worried about making sure the Mew stays alive. I do think that could be pretty good, but then it does become weak to the Sludge Bomb the following turn.
Right.
Or this turn if it's predicted.
Yeah, we'll have to
But
see.
I don't know. I think we'll see the Aqua Jet come out. I think it's too high value.
Yeah, and yeah, Fury should probably keep. Yeah, the Aqua Jet coming out. I really like just the keeping honest plays. I mean, yeah, Pixixy could make a defensive switch to try to circumvent the Aqua Jet, but
No
it's still going to be a
nonsense.
life orb. There's also a life orb adaptability Aqua Jet, right? And the Earth Power coming out, doing more.
That's a lot of damage. There's a strong.
Yeah.
Landorus is strong. Tailwind's coming
Yeah.
out, so speed is decisively in Pixie's favor, but there's a lot of threats still on the field.
Yeah, I wonder like how much damage a Terra Water Aqua Jet would do to the Mew. Probably not quite enough to pick it up, but it could be close. I mean,
but the
there's a
Terra
lot of
Water, I think it could do it.
yeah, there's a lot of multipliers going in there, and depends on the investment. I think on both. So that's something that only the players probably would really know here. Yeah, hard to say from our perspective without.
You'd be giving up any knockoff resistance, but I don't think that's your main prerogative. I think I guess it depends on the Mew's investment, but we saw how much damage that Earth Power did.
Yeah, we are going to see the Terra Water come out here. I think this might be what Fury's going for, the Terra Water Aqua Jet, because if that picks up the Mew, that's a pretty big deal, especially something like the Heat Trains in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what happens here. The Aqua Jet does come out. Will it be enough?
See it. I think it's going to be enough.
Oh, it's not.
It lives!
Barely not.
Ooh, that is not what you wanted to see if you're Fury. Knockoff doing a lot to the Landorus. That Mew might be able to do it to double up and take it out. Oh, but we see a coaching.
Oh, the coaching. Yeah, this is a great spot. I mean,
just like to see the Landorus get taken out.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that is threatening.
I think that's a play from Fury. I think Fury is really relying on the Aqua Jet to pick it up. But Fury, I mean, Pixixy all season has been running such a bulky team. I'm not so surprised to see that the Mew has a lot of investment, I think, to take that. And now Pixixy is such a great spot. I mean, the Aqua Jet obviously will pick up the Mew now, but this boosted Roaring Moon is it's going to be so strong here, right?
Yeah, but you have to decide. I mean, if Landorus could protect and stall out a turn and get that free Aqua Jet, but if you don't hit in the Landorus and it doesn't protect, it's going to do really big damage.
Yeah, the Aqua Jet coming out, just taking out the Mew, I think Pixixy might be scared to go for any aggressive switches given. Well, I mean, understandably, depending on what's in the back, we might want to keep it healthy. The acrobatics will just take out the Landorus. Interesting. So yeah, it kind of depends on who else is here.
That was a big threat neutralized here, and I imagine Pixie want to do that to pave the way for its Magna Zone. It's going to be locked into whatever move it picked because there's no switching, but it doesn't seem like there's anyone that's going to be able to resist a Thunderbolt right here. This is looking really good for Pixie.
Yeah,
you still have a turn of Tailwind, I think.
Yeah, the speed's in Pixie's favor, and the Thunderbolt, and even the sturdy on that Magna Zone, even if it came down to it. This is looking really, really good, even to the point where I think the Roaring Moon can kind of just go for an attack into the Heatran, and the Magna Zone could attack the Crawdon. And I mean, there's a risk for a Flame Body, for example, but I kind of don't see what Fury really can do here.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, Protects can come out, but
yeah,
I mean that Heat Wave could do a lot to the Magna Zone.
Oh, but the knockoff doing so much.
It does do so much.
And no burn coming through.
And I guess we'll see how much the Heat Wave does, but I think a Magna Zone can live one.
Well, it's sturdy, right? So if it lived one,
well,
even
I guess it
came
could
through. Yes. With that though,
the
Heatran's low enough.
Tailwind is out, but I don't think that's enough. Unless the Aqua Jet's able to pick up the KO on the Magna Zone.
I think that's what you have to go for. Even maybe the critical hit. I don't see another option for Fury to be honest, because
even then, I mean, we're gonna the Roaring Moon's gonna pick up the KO on the Heatran. It's gonna actually I don't know with the knockoff. I don't think it will pick up the KO. Heatran might be able to get
it. It did a lot though. It did like 75% or something like that. So
yeah, but it lost its item.
I know it lost the item, but it's a 1.5 boost, I believe, of the item. So I think the math works out that it would still. I mean, we'll have to see.
Was it 75 though? I thought it was a little. I thought it was a little closer to last.
We're about to find. Well, there's a coaching boost. Don't forget. I mean, you can see how much the Heatrans. We'll see the HP bar in a second for the Heatran. So we'll get to see.
It may be better to go. Well, yeah, acrobatics. I guess it's not stab, so it's still stronger to go for the knockoff. Yeah. Oh, you're right. It was way lower.
Yeah. Knockoff just takes the Heatran.
It's pretty sealed.
Yeah, with no Aqua Jet coming out, the Thunderbolt's just going to come through, and there's no chance the Crawdon's taking that.
Yeah. There we go. And there's the decisive game winning for Pixie there. Able to bring it back.
Yeah, we kind of
Congratulations.
saw throughout the. Yeah. Yeah, definitely congratulations to Pixixy. They're moving on to finals. We kind of saw that the whole set, the Magnezone just like struggling to find its way with the Landorus switching in and doesn't want to lock into Flash game. But finally, in that last game, the Magnezone really made a name for itself. It could just lock into the
Yeah.
electric move and just sweep.
A Choice Specs Thunderbolt, really, really, if you put it in the right situation, yeah, I see why Pixie was hesitant to bring it, but wow, that did a lot. I think Pixie did a very good job picking the four. We still didn't see a Gyarados, but I think we saw, Pixie was able to correctly use his Pokemon, pave a way for the Magnezone just to clean up.
Yeah, we have our winner Pixixy here. I'm not sure if we'll be having Fury. We'll have to see. But congratulations, Pixixy.
Thank
On
you.
a,
How do you
on
feel?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Did you think you were gonna? How did you feel going into this match? Did you feel like you had a good shot at winning, or did you feel like you were gonna lose?
I wasn't super strong either way. I was kind of like, I did not have a ton of time to like plan out ahead of time, so I was like, I'm just gonna have to rely on the strength of my team. But I think they can do it. Like this matchup is like pretty extreme. I think like Fury has like 3 Pokemon that just like shut down Magnezone, and like a ton of Pokemon that shut down Roaring Moon. But then consequently, I have a bunch of Pokemon that shut down Enamorus and stuff like that. So I just knew it was gonna be like really back and forth. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad my team was able to pull it off.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that Magnezone having trouble finding its footing against the Landers and the Jolteon, but right in that last game really, really showed how strong.
No, yeah. I mean, Magnezone. I was having such a hard time bringing it in. I was like, if I like just call this wrong, like I think game 2 really got my mental when I Earth Power and Volt Switch into Landorus, and I just like completely blew up my entire game. So
Yeah,
it was just really hard to find a place to come in. But I was like, I actually thought that I brought it game 4, and then I looked at my team. I was like, oh, that's Dugong. I think I just lose. But I was like, I think Magnezone's the play here. I think I can end game really hard with Magnezone, especially if Trick Room comes up. So
wow.
yeah.
Yikes! Wow, that's really interesting because we were talking about that. We were really surprised you didn't double into the Glade and deny the Trick Room, but that's very interesting that you were planning on the Trick Room because you thought you had Magnezone.
I also just thought for why I wasn't doubling into Gallade, I was like, Fury has shown a lot that she wants to protect it, and I was like, I don't want to just lose this game on a bad call, and I was more concerned about Enamorus anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, we have Fury here. Congratulations to Fury on a very well played set. That was, very very good set. Went down to game 5, down to the wire. I really like. I guess let me ask you, what was your choice? When did you decide to bring the laners versus not bring the laners? Because I really love that play game 2 where the laners came in and just took no damage from the switch in. So like, what was your kind of opinion overall on the laners in this matchup?
To be honest, I felt like I could have done more with it because in that game 5, I was expecting to be able to get a lot of offensive pressure with Landorus because I felt like Pixixy was going to double into Gallade because of how much I had been protecting it. And then, unfortunately, he took way more damage than I did. I think that's because I changed sets. Because originally I was planning on bringing a much more bulky Landorus. And I think if I would have brought that, it would have probably been different. I probably shouldn't have clicked Nasty Plot in that situation. I should have just went offensive. I felt like a lot of the momentum I got was just from like hard calls, like calling that Pixixy wasn't going to double into Enamorus, for example.
Yeah,
because if I don't know, you're fine. You can continue.
I was just gonna say, like, I think those mind games between the Gallade setting the Trick Room, not setting the Trick Room. Between the protecting and doubling, because we saw the Moonblast obviously didn't pick up the Gallade by itself. So I think the mind games there across several of those games was very interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it was hard to call everything.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad because like the game that hurts me the most is probably game 3. Because I got every turn. I felt like I got every turn right, but turns 1 and and the last turn. I will say that I do think that Heat Wave missing is the reason I lost the set, which is very.
I think so too.
I mean, you definitely
That's
had
very
some odds in
ironic
your favor.
considering the 2 sets that I won in the main season were because they had missed Heat Wave. So it came full circle,
Right.
and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, the odds for the flame body or the heat wave burn, and yeah, missing that heat wave, definitely not, that endgame was not in your favor there. I
Oh
like
yeah,
the
no, I never got. Did I get a single flame body check on Roaring Moon that entire game?
I mean, you
yeah
got the
Roaring Moon,
Gyarados one game one that did a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I got the
Gyarados,
I got a Gyarados one, and I got, was it Dugong? I think it was
Yeah, I think you got
Dugong.
yes,
Dugong.
yeah, I think so.
But I
Yeah,
was really hoping to switch in Heatran into Roaring Moon attacks and get a burn off, but it didn't really happen.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a question for both of you in that last game, that Crawdon Terra Water Aqua Jet. I'll ask Pixixy first. Did you think that I was going to pick up the Mew when it was
Yeah,
at
I did. I was like, you know what? I lose Mew here. Who cares? Like, I was prepared to let it go, but then once I thought I didn't, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because we just weren't sure. How about you, Fury? Did you think that was a be?
I was certain it was going to get the kill. Crawdon, Terra Water, Aqua Jet, Life Orb, every time, max attack. Yeah, no, that was. I felt like. Also at in game, I kind of made a play thinking that Heatwave was going to do more to the Magnezone than it did. And when I saw that it was in yellow health, I knew Aqua Jet was unlikely to kill. So I went for a harder call of trying to get rid of the Roaring Moon and then go for the Magnezone, but
yeah,
obviously it was at.
I think we were talking about maybe you needed like an Aqua Jet critical hit or something like that to take out that Magnezone at that point. It was going to be tough for sure. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking, what else do we have here? I mean, the Jolteon. I also like the Jolteon. I think the Charm being faster than the Roaring Moon really worked out some of those games. I guess what were your thoughts on the Jolteon and in its pressure overall, and like leading it versus not leading it?
I felt like Jolteon was like a good mix. Like I felt like most games I wanted to bring Gallade and Jolteon because then I threaten either Electro Web for speed control or Trick Room for speed control. But then seeing how Pixixy ended up leading Gardevoir basically every game after the first one or two, I probably should have switched to just leading Heatran instead. I wish that Landorus could have done more damage to the Gardevoir as well, because I thought that super effective Sludge Bomb was going to do more and get the KO, but you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will say I am very sad to lose, but I'm glad that if I had to lose, it was to Femboy Compass.
I did like your nicknames. They made me laugh.
Well,
Yeah,
You almost said my name.
you better go on to win this so that Saga has to say your name.
I'll try. Well, doesn't Saga already have to say my name?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, so there you go. I've achieved the greater victory,
Thank
no
you
matter
very
what
much.
happens.
Seems like we're gonna see, I believe, a rematch. Not necessarily a rematch, but two prior Cup champs back in the finals for the Cup.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Interesting.
We'll see who ends up being a two-timer. Yeah, with that, I think unless anyone has any other comments, I think that's it. I mean, congratulations to Pixixy moving on to the Cup Finals against
Thank
Praspian.
you.
Great work to Fury as well for a hard-fought
yes.
set, Game 5.
A very cool team and a hard-fought set and a great season overall.
Thanks.
And with that, I think our next stream match will be on Wednesday, and that'll be the playoff semifinals match between myself and Cyber. So definitely tune in for that. And
Very exciting.
with that said, I think that's all we got. See you guys next time.